Thank you. I'm Dr. Susan Yoshihara. I'm a resident of Portsmouth, and I'm Director of Research at Catholic Family and Human Rights Institute. And it's true, some people claim that it doesn't make a difference whether a child is raised by her mother and father or whether she's raised by adults engaged in homosexual lifestyles. And we've heard that case made persuasively tonight through anecdotes and very moving stories. Some go even further and say that two lesbians might make better parents than a mother and a father. And there was a study that came out a few years ago that pointed to that effect as well. But any scholarly basis for those claims have been shattered by the latest and best social science research. And so I'm here tonight to just point that out to you. Why do we look at research? Because we want to know how we can take these powerful stories of personal examples, can they be generalized to the general population? And that's why we rely on these very rigorous studies, and this one in particular. Children of mothers who had engaged in sexual lesbian relationships fared worse than children in biological families on 25 of 40 life outcome variables in this groundbreaking new study from the University of Texas. Now, I should note, it was not a measure of sexual orientation. It was rather what type of sexual activity their parents engaged in. In 11 out of those 40 outcomes, children with fathers who engaged in gay relationships fared poorly by the same comparison, and in no variable did those children do better than children who were raised in intact biological families. Now, Dr. Wolf Devine has gone through how rigorous this study was. 15,000 respondents, 3,000 of them interviewed. I mean, it's really remarkable from a researcher's standpoint. But not only did they fare better in health, education, and employment, but so did children raised in other family structures, like adoption and remarriage. So again, I think we all want to bring this to our attention and read it more carefully. As you've heard, the study was immediately subjected to intense criticism, but that made it emerge stronger. You know, you should take into account that the researchers at University of Texas crunched all the numbers again, responding to this criticism, and not only did it show, not only was it vindicated and were the authors vindicated, but it took on the criticism that stability is the only thing that matters. In other words, a stable, loving marriage doesn't matter what the family structure is. In fact, the research did not bear that out. And it was family structure, the biological family, that was statistically significant. We as Rhode Islanders want and we deserve a fair hearing of the latest research. And that includes the medical research. Calls for marriage equality charge the traditional marriage violates equal protection laws, likening sexual orientation to sex or race. But the medical experts don't know that yet. They simply don't know, and this is from the head of psychiatry at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, who's just filed an amicus brief in the Supreme Court, which I have highlighted in my testimony. They don't know what causes sexual orientation, why it changes over our lifetime, why it's not immutable.
I'm just going to ask if you can start to wrap it up, please.
I will, sure. And the legal scholarship as well. This is couched as a civil rights and a human rights situation, but in fact, we're a party to human rights treaties which bind the United States to recognize marriage, and it's the duty of law to protect marriage. So for all of these reasons, and the other reasons I've submitted in my testimony, I urge you to reject Senate Bill 38. Thank you very much.
Are there any questions or comments for this witness? Thank you.